Hi, Beach Church. It's Friday again. I'm so excited about our reading. Thank you for joining me. Today's reading is 2 Samuel, chapters 4 through 6. I'm so excited about these readings. This sets so much for our history and our faith in these scriptures right here. So we learned yesterday that Abner, who was head of the armies for northern Israel, is dead. He was also the one calling the shots for King Ishbosheth, and now he's dead. So the way that it was perceived was Ishbosheth was the only thing standing in the way of David becoming king of Israel. David is chosen, and David is loved by God. But here come these two brothers. You have Benah and you have Rechab. And they go and they think that they're going to get favor with King David. And they go and murder the king and behead him. And they get away with it. And so they're traveling back to bring this head to King David. Now remember, King David is the king of Judah and had been for about 7 years at this point. And when King David hears of this, he does not react the way the brothers think that he's going to react. He first reacts in sorrow. And then he condemns them to death. He has their hands and feet cut off because this was not done in the name of God. This was not done in obedience to God. And David knows that. But this will begin the rise of power. And we see that David becomes the king of Israel. And he goes and he fights many battles, and he's fighting the Philistines, and God goes before him, and God's fighting with them. And what does David do? So these kings of other nations send David all these materials and workers to build a palace. And David makes Jerusalem the capital of Israel. How amazing is that? And we know that that sets the stage for everything. So many things in our history. So he builds the palace. He calls Jerusalem the city of David. And even though he was taking too many concubines and wives, which we will see in the chapters to come, he is worshiping God, and he is beloved. Some say he was the most beloved at this point. Because remember, this is before God sends Jesus. So David orders that the Ark of the Covenant, the most holy thing that we have on this earth, be brought to Israel. Well, the Lord says, don't put it on a cart. And what do? They put it on a cart. And the cart goes unsteady. The Ark of the Covenant was unsteady. And the man put out his hand to stabilize it. And God struck him dead. And that's really harsh, but it's a harsh reality. And that brings us to what I want to talk about today. When I think of God, and when we think of God, we need to think of him as the Most High, the Most Holy. It is incomprehensible of his greatness. So I want you to think of something. So when that man touched the Ark of the Covenant, he was struck dead. That's how powerful it was. Well, we see throughout the Bible, with Adam and Eve, when God came, they hid. Moses in the burning bush, he hid behind a rock because God's glory was so overwhelming. We couldn't even comprehend it. The Israelites in the temple, When God showed his glory, the priest stopped. People hid because it's so great. I want you to think about this. Think about the sun. We could never, as humans, touch the sun. We can't even, in the summer months when we're closest to the sun, be out in the sun very long without our skin burning and turning different colors. So I was coming to Lynchburg today driving, and the whole drive was cloudy. And I was like, well, maybe I can look up at the sun and it not be so bad. So I'm coming down Interstate 64, and I looked up at the sun, and I immediately had to turn away because the light is so bright. Well, that is how it is with God. He is so holy and so righteous, and we are so unworthy because we are sinners. But the magnificent thing is, it's not about our unworthiness. God gives us love and grace, and by his grace, he has given us the word. And we must make the choice to be in his word and to be righteous. We just can't preach it. We just can't write social media posts. We just can't tell neighbors about it. We must lead by example because he's holy of holies. And we need to be as righteous and walk in a faith with God as best we can, because we are going to sin. He knows that. But we need to be making the right choices. And this guide does that. So, friends, I hope that this helps you today. And I hope that you know that even though the Lord is so holy, 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 he gives us a way to be forgiven. He gives us a way and a path to walk through life being righteous with him. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you enjoy the reading. I'll see you next week. Bye, Beach Church.